Shit. Got my nigga Cheese in this bitch. Midwest UGK, nigga. Oh, you already know. Shit. I said my hands on this money. I'm caught up in this lifestyle. This 100-round drummy. It'll knock a nigga right down. My dope on my scale. It be knocking watch lights out. My spot do be booming. I'm caught up in this lifestyle. My hands on this money. I'm caught up in this lifestyle. It's time for that Culture for the Streets, hosted by Mafia and Paint. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man. We got to get right into it, man. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. And condolences to his family. And salute to Blacc Sam, because he recently dropped an interview with Big Boy, and salute to Big Boy too, because he carried that interview as he should have. In such a manner where he let Blacc Sam be Blacc Sam versus him be a podcaster or interviewer, a radio host, this personality, right? We already know what Big Boy is, but to see Blacc Sam get up there and talk about his brother, it hit a little bit different for me, and I know it hit a little bit different for y'all, and we all got questions about what really went on with Nip, what really happened that day, what was Eric Holder's real motive to showing up at the Marathon store that day, having an exchange of words with Nipsey that led to the passing of Nipsey, man. Because that's something that we can't wrap around our heads. So we gonna try to get a little bit of understanding today through Blacc Sam, through this interview. So it was like I had to really touch on this, because this has been something, it's been so much in the air, and we don't know who tells the truth. We don't know who's falsifying. And then we see Blacc Sam get up here and say certain things, and it make you go back in your head and replay loose cannon. Replay all these allegations, replay people saying certain things, and then hearing Blacc Sam say what he said. Certain things other people said don't make any sense at all. But a lot of things that Blacc Sam said make certain things make a lot of sense. Let's get into it.
And I wanted Nip to record me a drop like, oh, see Big Boy's comedy show. He didn't get around to it. So literally on the way home, I was like, man, when I get home, I'm gonna call him like, oh, it's successful, and and do what we usually do, bro. And when I got to the house, I remember my man Fuzzy had hit me up. Then he said, man, I'm over here by Marathon. He said, something's going on over here. He said, they got it blocked off. And I was like, man, he said, I'm going to try to get closer. And when he called me back, he said, man, they're saying something happened with Nip. What was that day like for you both? And did you feel any premonitions before we lost Nip?
100%, man. I think, man, we just, it's my cousin's birthday, so the night, I want to say the night before, Nip took us to Wally's, Beverly Hills, me, Pops, and Adam, my cousin Adam, and just had a long talk. And bro, not to get too much detail, but it was a lot of big politics, getting into certain people. Hussle had DJ Khaled in the hood.
Now you got to understand something, right? Look at Blacc Sam's demeanor. Look at his posture. He wearing his heart on his sleeve right now, because he have to revisit the day he lost his brother, days prior to losing Nip, right? So for him to say that Nip came to him, explaining to him that it was politics involved, because they brought DJ Khaled to the hood. Now, this is what I want to say about gang culture. And this is what makes gang culture sour. because you can put in all the work. You can do all the time. It seems as if on the West Coast, and salute to the West Coast because it's a lot of real ones over there. It's just a lot of things that people outside of California don't understand, right? And we got to get some understanding about this, because for Nip being from 60s and becoming one of the biggest things to date that the 60s have under the spotlight, right? And then you bring all these big top tier celebrities to your hood. It's bringing more value to your hood. Let me just say that. It's bringing more value to your hood. Yet you still have people in your hood that look at you a certain way, or will look at you a certain way, if you don't let them turn the people that you bring into the hood that they know got money into food. Now, this is where respect supposed to come in, because if we from the same gang, and then I use my platform to be able to bring other people that probably never would have stepped foot in the 60s into the 60s, which is going to bring everybody out in all these sections of the 60s area out to support whatever's going on. And then you got to deal with niggas in the same gang as you having a problem with you doing something good. It's almost like nobody want to see you do good when you doing good. They don't want to see you prosper. They want to see you where the gang is currently at. Nigga, we still in the hood. Nigga, we still beefing with the ops. Nigga, we still going to jail about the set. Ain't nobody bigger than the set. That part right there got me fucked up. Because at the end of the day, Nipsey Hussle was grown. He wasn't 21. He wasn't 22. Nipsey Hussle was 30 plus years old. When are we granted the respect from our peers amongst gang culture that when we decide that we want to do something else and take a different path, they respect it? It's almost like you have to go to jail, do 30 years, come out, and then you can quit. Because any other way ends in a problem with your peers. And that's what he mean by Nip explaining to him that it was politics with the hood, because he brought DJ Khaled to the hood and front-lined it. You heard what Blacc Sam said. He front-lined it. Let's go.
Not to be speaking too much on shit, but we came front line like we always do. And, you know, niggas gonna know we gonna crash out behind it. We not playing. Ain't nobody saying nothing to Khaled. Ain't nobody doing nothing to Khaled. And he's straight. And Hustle front line that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that. And did the video. Khaled got out of there perfect and smooth. And, you know, we appreciated Khaled for showing up and coming to the hood and doing the video. And, you know, we knew that this was going to be one of them videos, man. Hustle brought DJ Khaled to the hood and, you know, had John Legend in the other scene. So we at Wally's and we just chopping it up about a lot of shit, man. Just, you know, making sure that we on point in security. And when we pull up, it's, you know, Hustle, when we pull up to the shop, call us. He like, bro, I'm not calling you niggas. When I pull
Now think about it. We lost Nipsey Hussle, right? We lost Nipsey Hussle at a time when he put out one of his most classic pieces of art as an artist, right? when you go back and you listen to Victory Lap today, I listen to it all the time because it's like motivation. It's like the new version of the Blueprint to me. And I don't want to go back and forth with East Coast fans. I'm saying it's like a updated version of the Blueprint that the streets gonna listen to, because everybody didn't tune into the Blueprint because they didn't like Jay-Z. Let's just be honest, right? Whereas we seen Nip come from a different environment, but his mentality had a lot of polish. And we seen how much polish Nips had. Nipsey had a lot of polish to himself. He was very mature. He was an old soul. But for Blacc Sam to be the older brother, inspired and driven by the younger brother being Nipsey Hussle, shows us how much love Blacc Sam had for Nipsey and how much he was willing to be the older brother, but understand that his younger brother got the plan, the vision. He got behind that. So you got to understand when Blacc Sam talk about what's going on right now and he reliving this situation in this interview, it's hitting a little bit different for him because he remembers this day 100%, man. As we all do. We all come to have a certain admiration for Nipsey Hussle, man, because he wasn't just a rapper, he was smart. Most of these rappers not smart. They can't show us nothing but rapping, jewelry, and money. Nip showed you that he was intelligent. Nip showed you that, yeah, I come from the streets, but I know how to transition. He wasn't just an artist. He wasn't just this member from the hood. Nip was really a man. He took care of his kids. He took care of his family. He was willing to do whatever he had to do to see them get forward. And Blacc Sam played a part in that too. So you got to salute both of them. But you got to understand Blacc Sam right now. He tied between a rock and a hard place. And when I say that, I'm saying Nipsey was from a hood that Blacc Sam wasn't officially part of. But because Nip was part of this hood, he understood Nip had to follow protocols with the culture. But Blacc Sam had to also play his part being the bigger brother. And certain things just wasn't going to go because at the end of the day, he ain't obligated to honor what's going on in the gang, man. He obligated to make sure Nipsey is forever straight. Ain't no harm, etc. And people that live in the culture of gangsterism, we often look at the civilians and knock them for knocking us for how we live. But you got to understand their perspective, right? They watching us outside go against each other. In this case, it wasn't an enemy that did something to Nip, man. It was a nigga from his own hood. And ever since Nip has passed, we've been paying attention to what's going on in the 60s. And we see a lot of internal beef over this internet. It's visible.
Pull up. I'm not calling you niggas when I pull up and we like arguing and just, but turn into a little bit of that and then back to celebrating, bro. I had a birthday and Hustle got us the back room and that family there chopping it and just us four. And we stayed there forever, man. And when he walked out, we all walked out the back room of Wally's. I think Rivera, one of the guys that filmed the video, just happened to be there. And so he seen us walking out. He's like, "Oh, Hussle, what's up?" And he's like, "Man, what's going on?" He's like, "Bro, they just sent me the first edit of the video." And so he pulled it up and he's like, "Man, look at this, bro. You look amazing, bro. You about to do movies after this. Look at this shot." And so Hussle seen it. Hussle was smiling.
It's the same scenario we watched with Pac. Rest in peace, Pac. Pac was putting Machiavelli together, and he passed before he was able to finish Machiavelli. We watched Nip put his best piece of work out to the public, but at the same time, it was almost like a premonition because he might not have knew that his time was coming. But we talking about the marathon. The marathon continues. It still continues to this day. Whether Nip was here or not, it's a legacy now. But to be able to do that, and then the last classic project we get from you before we lose you is Victory Lap. So when you hear that first song, that Victory Lap come on Victory Lap, it sounds like a going away project, man. And it's sad because we talking about Nip, and I know we all feel like Nip didn't get his proper just due in the game, because you got people that'll say he's not a legend. You got people that'll say he is a legend. You got people that will debate this and challenge this. But at the end of the day, I feel like he did what he was supposed to do because he inspired the coast. You got to understand the West Coast is the West Coast. The West Coast really you can only wake the streets up of the West Coast if you're from the West Coast. And it's the West Coast artists that inspire the West Coast.
And I end up, the morning shift came in, I ended up leaving. And so my goal was to go to the house and sleep a couple hours and then go back to the shop and close the shop up for the rest of the night. And so I'm at Granny's house, sleep on the floor. And this phone just going crazy, man. It woke me up and I picked the phone.
Now understand, he's telling the story of what's going on the night before, only to wake up having this day planned out, like what I'm gonna do when I'm get up. I gotta do my job. We gotta get to this money. The marathon continues, right? Only to hear or receive a call that something didn't happen to Nip. It's unexpected, unexplained, unnecessary. It's crazy, bro. Rest in peace, Nip, man.
Phone up and forget who called me, man. I just hear people screaming in the background. And they like, man, bro got shot. So I just immediately just run out the house. And jet out the door. My grandma was in the living room watching TV, so she seen me run out. Didn't close the door, just got in the car. Grandma's on 5th in Slauson, so the shop is maybe like 6 blocks away. So I just ran every light, every stop sign, and I get there, and man, it's just going crazy, man.
When you start looking every which way but to the person you talking to, the emotions and everything that you had to experience that day start to take your soul over because you happen to relive this while you're telling the story. So if you look at Blacc Sam and you look at how he looking, it's like every day he's living with the fact that this happened. And we all live with regret when we lose loved ones because we felt like we could have changed something. And I know that very day and getting that call and having to run these lights and having to pull up at the marathon store because you done heard something happen to your brother and you just heard how Blacc Sam said they stay on point when Nip pull up. And for him not to be there this specific day when Nip pulls up and this transpires and takes place and he's nowhere present, he felt like he could have did something. If people was positioned how they were supposed to, if they was on deck how they was supposed to, like Blacc Sam explained, maybe Nip would still be here.
You know, everybody screaming, and I just see bro, and I'm just, you know, it's fucked up, but bro still breathing. I think Kev Mack was like talking to him and trying to tell him, you know, breathe, stay with, just breathe, bro. So,
man, shout out Kev Mack. I watch a lot of Kev Mack videos because he talked to a lot of OGs, a lot of triple OGs, a lot of niggas that went and did time, decades, came back home, and they able to tell you how these gangs started, what took place, why the beefs took place, etc., right? But he also from 60s. And for Kev Mack to be there and be one of the ones that was by Nip's side when he was taking his last breaths and he was trying to make sure that Nip was all right, it speak volumes for Kevin Mack, man. For Kev Mack, man. Shout out to Kev Mack, man, because we ain't just talking about gangsters in the streets. We also talking about grown men. And at some point in time, you may grow up heartless due to how you grew up. But once we grow up to be grown men and we got kids and we establish family, we learn how to care now properly. And in response, we learn how to care for the ones that we care for outside of our family, the loved ones, our homies, our friends. At that particular time, that was Kev Mack.
I'm looking and trying to, you know, we need to figure this shit out. So I had to think ambulance on the phone. And everybody screaming. I'm just like, man, shut the fuck up, man. It's just like, you know, take the phone. I'm trying to talk to the ambulance. They said they coming and they telling me, you know, I'm asking them like what do we need to be doing? And so they telling me to try to administer CPR on bro. And asking me, is he breathing? I'm like, yeah, he's still breathing, you know. And just trying to do the best that we could. And finally, you know, police came, ambulance came, and they took him. And so I'm just praying, you know, I had faith that bro was gonna be all right, and you know.
As a brother should. But we seen what happened to Nip. He got shot multiple times. He it looked like at one point in time when Eric Holder came back, he stood over Nip and head tapped him. I got homeboys that died from multiple wounds, right? And when there's something happening to people that we care about, no matter what the circumstance is, we always have some type of faith that they gonna pull through. It don't matter what happened. The faith supposed to be there until the inevitable happened. So I understand why Blacc Sam was having faith in Nip making it through what just happened. It's already traumatic, but for him to not be DOA when they get there, it leaves faith on the table. So you got to understand, man, just look at Blacc Sam, man. He's zoned out. You got to understand why he going through what he going through, why he explaining what he going through. He lost his brother. He the older brother, but it was his little brother that changed the direction they family was going in. He became the brain. And that's not to take nothing away from Blacc Sam, because I know he loved Nip, whether Nip would have ever been a rapper, anything in life. He would have loved him because as siblings, he is his brother's keeper. So prosperous or not, the same love that he's expressing and showing and wearing on his sleeve right now by reliving this situation while he talk about it. You got to understand how hard that is.
Not a lot of people shot in that parking lot, and we, I drove multiple people to the hospital. And, I'm like, man, if anybody make it, bro, gonna make it for sure. And that was the ride to the hospital, man. Just praying, and I was confident, bro, it was gonna be good, man.
And condolences to Nip, Blacc Sam, they family, man, the kids. Because looking at Blacc Sam sit up here and have to discuss this in an interview that he know the public gonna see, that he know we gonna be judgmental of, we gonna have our perspectives, it's gonna be sides that's been picked. We've all had these perspectives of the situation that we feel like haven't been resolved when it comes to Nipsey, because we understand it was so much stuff going on in the 60s. So you got to understand another thing about Blacc Sam and Nip family. Nip's family is not a family that grew up attached to the gang culture. Nip dad wasn't a 60. Blacc Sam wasn't a 60. His mama was not a gangbanger. But they lost their brother, their son, to a culture they not even attached to. They just had to accept it because that was what their brother was a part of, their son was a part of. This ain't the same family as these other gangsters that grow up and their mama was from, You know what I'm saying? Santana Block Crip, and the dad was from Inglewood family, and you see what I'm saying? The siblings is spread amongst the gang. Your sister from BPS, nigga, your brother from Denver Lanes, and you from this ain't that.
Was like Nip seeing somebody arrogant talked and
I mean, you know, he already got convicted, so for me, without going into too many details.
Before we continue, right? I got a question. Do y'all think that was a random situation? Because I come from gang culture, right? And it's just certain things that's not going to randomly happen inside the heart of your section, right? And in this case, we know just can't anybody just come over there and become a threat in that parking lot like that, right? Because where it's at, for the most part. So we already know that Eric Holder comes from the same sect. They all 60s, right? So if you're not good in that hood, but you come from that section, that would make it not so out the ordinary for a moment that you there, because you do come from that section. You just ain't good in that section. You're not an op coming through that section, is what I'm saying. So I don't look at it like it was a random situation, because if you ain't good in that section, why would you come over there to even try to confront Nip about anything or asking anything or come over there, period, when you know he gonna check you just because the type of nigga that Nip is, right? But you still went. I don't know how y'all think or feel. Let me know in the comments. But this was totally not random. I agree with Blacc Sam.
Somebody come to the shop. I know we in the doorway. When Hustle pull up, we in the doorway. You gonna see me with a hoodie on, and I got a pistol on me. You gonna see one of the team members in the hoodie in the doorway with a pistol. That's protocol when Hustle pull up. So it's
now that goes back to what I was saying about Blacc Sam. He living with a lot of regret because he wasn't there. You feel what I'm saying? Because think about what he just said. When Nip usually pull up, I'm in the doorway, I'm strapped. This particular day, when this takes place, he's at his people house sleep and wake up to this. So at a position that he usually played, that he normally played when his brother pulling up, he's not there to play that position. And on the day that he's not there to play that position is the day that they take Nip from us. So if you don't think that he living with a whole bunch of regret right now, every day of his life, y'all got life fucked up. Because had he been standing in that doorway with that pistol, any other the other homies could have been off deck, not paying attention, off they square, as we want to say, right? That's his brother. He wouldn't have took his eyes off Nip. He would have made sure that went another way. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, Blacc Sam, you wonder why we haven't heard Blacc Sam say too much in 5 years, right? Understand what Blacc Sam been going through for 4 or 5 years, man.
Sunday, it's busy in there. Why the niggas in there didn't follow the protocol? I wasn't there. Why they didn't follow it? Maybe they just fucking around helping the customer, doing some fucking customer service. This is what I'm thinking, trying to, transition into some legitimate just selling clothes. But nobody was in the doorway. And from my understanding.
Now, this is another question that I do have, right? Why wasn't nobody in the doorway? Why wasn't nobody outside? Nip is a priority. When he pull up, when he's around, he's the priority. He's the breadwinner. He's the main reason all of these things. Now, this is my problem I got with this, right? Because Nip the priority. So if they not in the doorway on deck when Nip pull up, if they not outside making sure Nip straight when he pull up, what's really going on? Because at all times when Nip show his face, he becomes the priority. He's the breadwinner. He's the reason why this whole machine is operating the way it's going. He's the face of it, the poster child of it. He's the one that's bringing in a lot of the money to push the brand that y'all pushing. So whether Blacc Sam was there or not, I don't have any understanding as to why. It wasn't somebody in the doorway. It wasn't somebody outside making sure Nipsey Hussle was straight.
And no boy walked up with no shirt on first to check the scene because he know what's going on in that parking lot. And had a conversation. Probably seen nobody was in the doorways. Checked Hustle had on shorts. Checked everybody else. Left. They say he came back with a red shirt on. Tiptoed through the alley and went right and started shooting.
The red shirt, right? The red shirt in a dominated a Crip neighborhood. That section is dominated by neighborhood rolling 60 Crips. I'm pretty sure if you go to any blood neighborhood, any section, you ain't gonna go into Denver lanes and be able to buy no blue t-shirt. So I would believe you not gonna be able to go in the 60s and it just be a red shirt at the corner store that you could buy when these are the shirts that will get your top tapped, right? This is also why I feel like this wasn't randomly, because if you were just showing up that day to confront a nigga because you need that, or you want to fade, or you want to confront a nigga about some issues on your name, right? You wouldn't have showed up without a shirt, then leave and return with the opposition shirt on. You in a Crip neighborhood. You actually a Crip, you just been banished from where you from. So you're not good in the hood. So I don't think that would drive you to go put a red shirt on because you're not a blood. This wasn't random. Who sent this nigga? Somebody sent this nigga Eric Holder, man. Now, I'm not going to sit here and agree with all the allegations as to them saying Big U did it, but somebody did it, and whoever did it had to come from the 60s, man. Internal beef. Internal beef. And ever since we lost Nip, we've been seeing groups and sections of the 60s to themselves. You don't see all money in with Big U and them. You don't see, it's just a lot going on over there. They ain't obligated to tell you anything that's going on either, because it's the culture. And that part of the culture is supposed to be a secret society. But when you got a bunch of these grown niggas on here telling the public about the secret society like it's an open book and make a mockery of it at the same time, you get people that pass judgment the wrong way. This should have never happened to Nip. Nip was the biggest thing from over there. Nip put himself in a position where he could provide opportunities for niggas from his sections, whether that be a job or you want to try to rap, you get it together, you have that actual opportunity sitting in the heart of your section. Yet it was his own section. Niggas that come from his own section that were responsible for what happened to him.
So to me, that's premeditated. Number one, there's no red shirts in the hood. You can't buy no red shirt. No liquor store sell no red shirt. Number two, when a nigga come through the alley with a red shirt, that's the throw off. Or the Bloods did it. Or the Inglewood families did it. Or the BPS. That's the throw off. Red shirt.
Because it ain't random. This wasn't random. He just letting you know so much without saying so much, because it's only so much he could say, because at the end of the day, he participated in the streets. He abide by the street codes. He did time. He understand this. Yes, I'm not from rolling 60s, but at the same time, I participated in some things where I have to abide by the codes of what's going on. So you got to understand and really listen to what he's saying and how he's saying it without saying too much. This is totally not random.
So for me, he felt that he was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever, and he was nervous. He was supposed to hit that alley with that red shirt immediately, but he didn't do that. He came in and he wanted to check the scene. He wanted to make sure he wasn't getting into a shootout. And that's my thoughts on it. You understand? So, and can't nobody tell me nothing about that, because it just don't make no sense. It's not random. You know, I know hustle. You know, ain't nobody.
It is random as what?
Now, let me know what y'all think, man. Now, let me know what y'all think, man, because I feel for Blacc Sam. I feel for Nip family, but I also agree with what he was saying about him not thinking that that was random. I don't think it was random neither. They done been through hell and hot water in that area. They whole come up, right? Then we already understand the politics of what's going on in LA. Let me just say this too, because I don't understand this about LA and its members and how y'all are with each other, because outside the states, just how y'all tell us outside the states, we don't know about what's going on over there. But you got to understand what's going on in these other states, because niggas be grown men, right? It's just certain things we not going to let you do and have control over. If I become successful because I worked hard, it's no nigga in the set that's going to run down on me and think he going to extort me, though. You ever opened up a garbage bag and put your 2 feet in it and zipped it up yourself and sat in it for a minute to understand where you will go trying to play? with a nigga in transition trying to change his life and he trying to take care of his family at the same time. You think a nigga supposed to be obligated to how you feel when they family come first. So the minute that you attach to this culture of living, right? And these same people that you had all this love for, you was in the car with, they know you a rider. They know you stand on gangster, on being a member. When you decide to transition and do something different, nigga, respect it. Because the minute that you don't respect it, you showing your real face, nigga. You ain't really my homeboy, nigga. And them niggas wasn't really Nip homeboys. Shout out to All Money In, Blacc Sam, Nip family, Lord London, them kids. The rest of them niggas, them niggas ain't love Nip like they was supposed to, man. It's time for that Culture for the Streets, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share this video, man. And once again, man, much respect to Blacc Sam, man, because it take a lot to get up there and relive that. It's time for that Culture for the Streets, hosted by Mafia and Paint, man. We out of here.